In the village of Sarurpur, a man named Ramesh was rapidly losing his life to a violent, unexplained illness. Without warning, he would double over, coughing up blood and collapsing onto the dirt floor of his home. The local Vaidya, or doctor, attempted every remedy in his reach before delivering a final, grim prognosis. The damage was too severe, and Ramesh would not survive the night. Yet the following morning, Ramesh was found sitting quietly in his courtyard. He wasn't just stable, he appeared to be in perfect health, showing no signs of the trauma that had nearly killed him hours earlier. Instead of relief, the village elders who came to check on him were paralyzed by a visible sense of dread. They stood at a distance, their faces pale as they looked toward the house. Their attention was fixed on a small clay pot, or matki, hanging above the doorframe. To the elders, this specific object confirmed that Ramesh's wife had bypassed natural medicine to engage with a forbidden ritual. In Sarupur, a recovery of this magnitude is a death sentence for someone else. For Ramesh to stand up and walk again, the laws of the village dictate that another resident is already marked for the well. The origin of this trade lies deep within the forest. A visiting boy named Rohan discovered the site by sneaking out at midnight, following a persistent, disembodied voice that led him through the dense trees. Rohan reached a structure that radiated a freezing aura, even at the peak of a summer heatwave. Around the stones, the usual forest noises vanished into a heavy, absolute silence. Interacting with the entity at the bottom of the well requires following a strict set of parameters. The practitioner must arrive at exactly 12:30 a.m., draped in a heavy black cloak to hide their identity. This diagram outlines the sequence of the trade. To begin, the practitioner must drop 3 specific items into the darkness: a paper pact, a pair of glass spectacles, and finally, a brightly burning lantern. The final step is a desperate flight. The moment the lantern leaves their hand, the practitioner must run from the forest without looking back, escaping before the entity surfaces. Rohan's observations reveal a site governed by a rigid procedural sequence. Accessing the well is less about random spirits and more about following a specific, repeatable set of steps. The well operates on a balance of life force, facilitating a brutal transfer from a healthy victim to a dying petitioner. Chandravati used this law to save her husband, ensuring another life was dragged down to satisfy the well's debt. The cost of this trade was a local woman named Kalyani. While she was alone at home, a supernatural surge of water flooded her courtyard, and an invisible force dragged her from her property. Kalyani's disappearance into the well was the final payment. Her death was the literal fuel required for Ramesh's miraculous recovery the following morning. This zero-sum reality is the true danger of Sarupur. Every time a family celebrates the survival of a loved one, a neighbor is likely mourning a gruesome and sudden loss. The realization that the well is active has forced Sarupur into a state of siege. The moment the sun sets, a mandatory lockdown goes into effect, with every door bolted from the inside. To ensure the curfew is kept, groups of men patrol the silent streets through the night, acting as a human barrier between the village and the forest. These patrols carry raw turmeric roots, or haldi, as a specific countermeasure. The roots are used as a traditional ward, believed to repel the dark influence that follows the well's water. Yet the community is now trapped in a cycle of paranoia. Every resident knows that anyone, even a friend, could secretly visit the well at 12:30 a.m. to sacrifice a neighbor in exchange for their own family's health. The entity is already searching for its next petitioner. At night, Rohan can still hear a soft, supernatural voice calling to him from the dark, attempting to lure an outsider into the ritual cycle. The horror of Sarupur isn't just the entity in the water, but the human desperation that feeds it. As long as people are willing to trade a neighbor's life for their own, the well will